Greetings. This is Skyler Saunders seeing what's current. So, we have weekend edition of Skyler Saunders seeing. This is how I used to the producer's advocate. I may start that up again, but for now, I'm gonna try to keep it as live as possible. Um, I may do pre-recordings and load them up, and have them ready for the weekend. But right now, I just want to go live, see what time people are on. There's one person in the room. Whoever you are, put a one up, and let you know who it is. Um, it's very stimulating. It's a very stimulating thing to have this done. I appreciate everybody that's ever contributed any money to this machine. Thank you very much. I do appreciate every single dollar. And you can also be aware of the 50 Club. You can contribute $50 a month to my platform. I'm just like PBS. I listened to NPR today. PBS and NPR. They just cut in. She said, dial this number and donate. That was it. That was the whole advertisement. It was like 6 seconds long. She, she just said, call this number and donate. Thank you very much. And it was over. That was it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing PBS right now. I'm doing NPR. I'm not getting any government funding though. I'm not getting any checks from private donations other than the private people. I'm not getting anything from any companies or anything. But I have to say that it is rewarding to be able to do what I love to do. This is something I just happen to love to do. I didn't know if I was going to like it again. I started my journey a little bit earlier in the late 2000s, early 2000 teens or tens. And you can look at my videos. They're all there. Some of them go back to 2007, even though it says 2011 or a few years ago. And I just, took to this because of Mr. Troy Star Terrain. He said they need to see your face and hear your voice. I was like, all right, because I'm a writer. I, I put it on the page. I don't have to speak. I don't have to say anything. I just use my thumbs on my phone. I use my fingertips on my MacBook, and I'm straight. I'm good. I'm Gucci. But he said, he just suggested that I do this, and by all measures, it's been rather lucrative. I'm not mad. I appreciate it. There's 0 people in the room right now. It's nothing. It is 0 likes, 0 viewers, but that's okay because there's always the rebroadcast, and I always get a good amount of views on the rebroadcast. So I appreciate that. I acknowledge all those who have come before me. And I acknowledge those who will come after me. But right now, I have the spot. Okay, ruler of the kingdom of the air. This story is so ingrained in my consciousness. It is so, a piece of history in my life, my biological history. It is fiction, but it's also meant to play upon actual events. If you read the story, you will maybe be able to pick up on some clues, some ideas. Yes, I'm from the first state known as Delaware. The first state, the very first state. I was born here in the very first state. So it takes, just a little bit of research, a little bit of finding out, what the deal is with my connection to the story. That's what it all comes down to. It comes down to the fact that, I am more adjusted to being someone, that is a writer, someone who can create stories and make them happen. And I pride myself on that. I've always wanted to be a writer since I was 10 years old, 9 years old, 9 or 10 years old, wherever you are in third or fourth grades. Before that, obviously I wanted to be a policeman. I wanted to be a fireman. My brother's actually, a first responder. So he's definitely, if he had any designs to be a fireman or first responder, he's definitely living that dream. And that's beautiful. I think that's great. But mine is to be a writer. I always think about, what Hollywood, how they deem writers. Like you have producers and directors, they're the gods. And executives, they're the gods. Then you have the angels, those are the actors. And the people, and the cast and crew and everything like that. Or the cast, at least. And who gets damned to be the devil? The writer. The writer is not expected to be on the set when the film is being shot. The writer is not expected to give any input, even though there are writers out there. Like my favorite screenwriter, one of my favorite directors, Aaron Sorkin. He makes himself a presence on his films that he's written, even if it's to go to craft services to get a donut. He's on set. He makes sure everything was going well. And even the late great Ayn Rand, she was on set one day and they were looking to cut some scenes from her famous speech in the film The Fountainhead. And she was like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? This is not what I envisioned. This is not what I pictured here. And she was like, look, you either keep the words that I wrote, or just take me off the picture. Take my name off the picture. Take everything off. Well, the former happened. They didn't want to see the latter because it would probably been a fiasco anyway. Taking Ayn Rand's name off her own movie that she wrote the script for. So I wrote "Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air," and the idea that I could convey something that's akin to the greatest American novel, Chapter 1. That was the whole point. And that's part of this challenge that Vocal.media has. They have a challenge that says that you should be able to come up with this story scenario. Whatever you want, you have ample opportunity and free space to say whatever you wish. Remember, Richard James, it's ruler of the kingdom of the air. Ruler of the kingdom of the air. But thank you for starting to read it. And make sure you hit that donate button. There is no donate button, but I mean it, metaphorically. Hit the Cash App. Hit me up on my Cash App. Here's the Cash App, sir. Hold on. And tell me how you know that I came on the air. Let me know how you knew I was live, so I can see if other people can also be able to do it. I just want to see something about that. I want to make sure something. You're a subscriber, but a lot of people. I have 250 subscribers. I don't see 250 subscribers in this room. Thank you. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you. But hit that Cash App too. Hit the Cash App. Hit the Cash App. Whatever you can do. I just need to make sure I get that target $40. Tell two people and let the third person wonder what's going on with this show. No, it's enlightening. It really is. It gives you a sense that you have the power to convey a message. Yeah, Richard James, that was earlier in the week. I spoke on that, right when he died. I was live right when he, when the news came in. Sad situation, but niggas die every day, B. People die every day, B. That's just a fact. That's reality. But, he was, a pioneer. He was a master with puppets and scripts and acting, and he's out of here. But we're not out of here. We're still in this fight. We're still grinding. As long as we're alive, it should always be about the getting the dollar sign. All about the dollar sign. You know, um, people in people in the Marines, yeah, people, yeah, as people, yeah, especially as movies, Big Pee Wee's Big Adventure. He's still looking for that bike, but no, I had people saying in the Marine Corps, he must be thinking about the P word, if you know what I mean. And I'm thinking about money. And I didn't say it at the time, but you can go decades without the P word. You can't go more than a few days without money. That's just facts. Especially either if you're in jail or whatnot. Well, it reminds it's a five-letter word and a scratch your temple. You know, look up Naughty by Nature's OPP, and you'll get the first verse. The first verse tells about it. I'll give you that much, Richard James. um, O was for other, P is for P, P is for scratch your temple. The other P, well, that's not that simple. If I say anything else, I'll get hit with a copyright strike, so I'm not going to say much else. But ruler of the kingdom of the air is so, ingrained in my mind, and it just, I'm just astonished myself. I didn't know if I was going to get 500, 600 words out of it, or 10,000 words. I actually was able to get, somewhere in between there, at close to 3,300, 3,295 words exactly. So I appreciate if Richard James, you're the only one that seems like you're in the room. I appreciate you for showing up. Thank you for beginning to read it. I truly am, honored to have people read my work, watch my videos. That's something that means something to me. And the story itself will, the style is, it ranges. I want it to be as romantic as possible. I pride myself on being a romantic realist. Sometimes I falter and fail at that, but for the most part, I really make the attempt to be a romantic realist. Now, not to be confused with an objectivist writer. The only objectivist writer was Ayn Rand, and the closest objectivist writer today living is Dr. Leonard Peikoff. And I don't even think he claims to be an objectivist writer. Richard James says, I told you if I find merit in it, I'll share it with my mother. She's an avid reader. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I do remember you saying that. So, salute to you. Salute to you. If there ever was a moment where, so many people were to read this story, not book, story, it would elevate me. Yesterday, I got 10 reads total. And that's across my thousands of other, over 1,000 other stories that I've written in the past. That's where that comes from. And that's what's so engrossing about this adventure. Because this is an adventure. And, you'll see, why I say that, again and again, because it's part of that story. Ruler of the kingdom of the air. It is just something that, almost looks obvious, but if you scratch it underneath the surface, you can find that it's completely different from anything else you've ever read. First of all, you don't hear or read too much about Delaware. That's a fact. You'll hear anything and everything about New York City, New York City. Everything is about New York City, New York City. California, Texas, anywhere, Jersey, Philly, Baltimore, everything surrounding Delaware, but not Delaware, Virginia, everything. Delaware might get a light mention in movies, but that's about it. Here we go. Richard James says, I don't know if you've read the book Leroy and the Old Man, but on the beginning reminded me of that. But the beginning reminded me of that. Okay, reminded him that. Okay, I never read that book. I have to pick it up. But in the meantime, what you need to do is tell two people. Just tell two people, Richard. Tell two people about this broadcast. Don't tell three people, just two people. Let the third person wonder what's going on. That's how you get this thing going. That's how you get it rolling. This site, this video, this live feed could be picked up by more people if you just share. Share on Twitter, well, not Twitter anymore, X. Share on X some more. Share on Facebook, Threads, so many other options. I'm sure you probably know one. Richard, you sound like you're trolling, but I'm not sure. You said, okay, I'm going to tell my mother and father. Okay, so that's two people. I appreciate that. You're probably in a similar situation I am. Okay, not trolling. Good to go. I have, 0 friends as it is. The only friends I have are George, Tom, Abe, Alex, Andy, and Ulysses, and Benjamin. Those are my friends. I like them very much. They're good people. That's what it comes down to. But if you notice the names I said, Richard, notice the names I said. Remember I said, I'll give you a hint. They can all be found, probably in your pocket. They're getting less and less nowadays, with, cryptocurrencies and different things like that. But for the most part, they're still, in circulation, if anything. But this is just, not play time, because this is work. I have to do research. I had to write a whole short story, So I'm advertising that. I'm promoting that right now. I'm promoting myself. I do self promotion, because who else is going to promote besides Troy Star Terrain? Mr. Terrain promotes my work enough. I have to promote, myself, because it's not it's not shameless. It's shameful when you don't promote yourself. Richard James asks, "What's the hardest part of writing a story?" I don't have any hard parts really. Not trying to brag, not trying to boast. I'm not trying to say I'm the best, to ever come. I'm just saying, especially not this story. There was no hard part. It was just like imagination. Wrote, think this up, write it down. Think this up, write it down. Yes, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen in the chat? Shout Richard James. Richard James, if you have any other questions, I will answer them for $5. $5. I'm only asking if you have any other questions. I won't answer any other questions unless you have $5 on it. Do you have Cash App available? Let me know. But ruler of the kingdom of the air. Similar to Lord of the Flies. But this one is more direct and more literal. This is more, on the part of saying, I am staking my own ground. I am, planting my flag, And I'm saying, this is coming from Delaware. Nobody, like, it goes along with promotion. Who's gonna? I want to write about Delaware because I don't see that in TV, movies, and novels, or as much. Very little. There's scant amount of movies, TV, and radio, or novels or short stories regarding Delaware. Complete as a setting, set in Delaware. Set in Delaware with Delawareans, people that live in Delaware. Frank Whaley comes to mind, but that was such a sad story. He had a movie talking about, he was, I think he was divorced from his wife, and he had to take his daughters to Delaware or something else. It was a depressing movie, very depressing. He was a loser. He was a failed comedian, and it just got worse and worse and worse. Somebody just came into the live chat. Please put a 1 up. Let me know who you are. Why did you come into my live feed? Give me an answer, please. I'd appreciate it. But it's exciting. It's very exciting to have a site like Vocal.media publish your work, and they publish virtually everything. I mean, they have some guidelines I had to abide by, a few months ago. But for the most part, they keep it a buck. They keep it 100. They don't even have you. Once you type something up, put it up, it's there in a few minutes, if not seconds. You have the opportunity to grow and grow in that community. You have the opportunity to say what you want and how you want, and not have anyone bother you or shake you down because of what you said. That's a true blessing, not in the mystical sense, but just in the benevolent sense of a sight. That's what's so compelling. That's what makes it worthwhile. And to realize that ruler of the kingdom of the air has been published, it just gives me a better idea of who it is. Richard James asks, my father asked if ruler of the kingdom of the he didn't say the air, but it's the kingdom of the air, and it's autobiographical. It is. I'm gonna say that. It's a roman à clef. It's names have been changed, settings have been changed, but for the most part, it's about my life. But it has a drastic turn to it. I'm not going to give that away. I'm going to let you figure that out. And thank you for sharing it with your father. I appreciate that, Richard James. I'm still looking for that Cash App. Anything you can do. And now is the last question I'm gonna answer. And thank you for the likes and everything. I see 2 likes up there. But that's the last question. I gave you a bonus. That's the last question I'm gonna answer until you put $5 on it. Just $5, just something like that, $5 or $10. I appreciate it. So, with this story, you get, action, you get intrigue, you get melodrama, you get drama, you get a lot of things that go on, that you normally wouldn't get from a story writer, or just run of the mill. I tried to make this special. I tried to make it great, just like a great American novel. The first chapter. That's what this is supposed to be. That's what this all is centered around. That's what I'm, purporting to be. That's what I wanted to be in the first place. That's what I started out at. I was, like I said, I was wondering one day they're going to do something about the great American novel. They have to. They did magic realism, which is essentially, real figures and real time periods with mythical or what they call magical elements. elements that are, could be supernatural, or could be, uh, you know, something that's beyond what is expected. It's almost like science fiction, but it has a sense of the idea of just being almost fantastic. It's almost like fantasy. Richard James, sir, do you not listen? You got to put 5 on it. You put 5 on it, I will answer that question. I'll be happy to answer it. You just got to put some dollars on it. I'm lifting you up. I'm flipping you over, and I'm jangling your pockets. I'm trying to get all your coins out and everything, and your dollars. I will answer that question just with a Cash App. You send in a Cash App, we're on good standing. But yeah, Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air. It's a special story because it just means so much to me, and I was waiting to put this out there. I've been calling myself, different names, and saying I've been, yeah, okay. I see Richard James. You start talking about asking for money, and they peace out. Not here anymore. All right, but that's fine. He did his piece. I respect him for sharing the story. He just couldn't come up with the money. Um, but it's an amazing feat to be able to voice your opinion, your mind. We live in America. America, that's the one thing it has going for it, if not, many other things. At least the one bastion, the one, piece of refuge we can hold on to and cling to is freedom of speech. We have the freedom to talk about whatever we want to talk about, as long as we're not slandering, uh, as long as we're not causing fraud, like yelling and firing in a theater and there's no fire. That's fraud. And just make sure that have everything in line, and you're not going off the deep end, legally or ethically. It's a shame that so many people that don't realize or take for granted the power of the written word or the spoken word, or performances. That's in our Constitution, the First Amendment. The First Amendment, the very first one, talks about free speech. That's powerful. When we can have so many ideas float around with these novels and these films and these different plays and different things like that, we're very fortunate to live in a country that respects that. You can say whatever you want, as long as you're not slandering, you're not causing fraud, something like that. I'm gonna look up something. Hold on. I have to check something. Hold on. Libel. That's the word I was searching for. Thank you, Google. Don't commit libel. Don't slander. Be someone that knows what they're doing when they're on the mic and on the page. And when you're on the mic on the terrestrial radio, which is governed by the FCC, you watch your mouth. Mr. Chore Star Terrain, he has never been fined by the FCC. Unpopular to popular demand, or popular opinion, contrary to popular opinion, he's never been fined. With all the vile, vicious, harsh, cutting, biting, brilliant, intelligent banter he has had over the years, on terrestrial radio, he never was once fined. That's something to think about. I almost was shut down on vocal.media because I said words like spick, gook, and kike. I said them, in a way that wasn't like disparaging anyone. I was just saying it's a matter of fact. These are words that are used for these people, and they didn't like that. You can use nigger all day, nigger, 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 nigger. But the issue is the partiality is, and the fact that this word, I guess they assume that they use it, so I guess it's all right. It can't be a problem. It goes back and forth, whatever the deal is. Hey, it's called Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air. Go read it, look it up. I'm gonna put it in the chat room one last time because I'm about to get out of here. It is right here for you to see. Richard James got out of here. Somebody who else is in here got out of here. But make sure you read that. Make sure you share it. And I appreciate everything that you do. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Take care.